Okay, we are officially podcast at the Geek Press podcast. This is number 4, I want to say, right? Is this number 4? Let me check. Hold on.
Yes, it's number 4.
I just want to double check.
Yes, because the first one was me and the wonderful Elizabeth. Then it was
yeah, it is 4.
Diego, and then I, and then me. Thank you for having me on all these podcasts. Just to reiterate, I'm Jacob Knight, all across social medias.
Isn't it Jacob?
My
Jacob
father
_ Knight, JK?
No, it's Jacob Knight. No, it's just Jacob Knight.
Okay.
And my father still hasn't let me on his podcast. So thank you so much for letting me on yours. My father hates me, and I'm the son he never wanted. So,
to anyone wondering what I'm drinking, this is filled with water. I just want everyone to know that I went to Circle K, filled up this whole thing with ice and water because it is fucking hot right now. I think, like, as we're recording this, where I live, it's I'm not gonna say the cities, but I've said it multiple times. Where I live, it's 93 degrees, and where Noah's at, it's 93 degrees as well, but it's super humid. So that's just some context.
We are east of LA, and east of LA water is Kirkland brand vodka. So we're both vodka-ing it up right now.
Okay, so here's a fun fact before we get into the story, before we get into the podcast. I mean, so
wait, you should have like a jingle, like Geek Press Fun Facts.
All right, so
I regret that. Just go. That was upsetting.
So here's a quick story. I remember one time, because both Noah and I went to the same community college, and we were both editors at our newspaper. And so one day, I thought he had a water bottle right there, and I'm like, "Hey, Noah, you mind if I have some of your water?" You know, this was before coronavirus and before, like, you know, sharing stuff with your homies would kill you. And he was like, "Yeah, go for it. But just to warn you, there's vodka in there." I'm like, "Ha ha ha, very fucking funny." And then I take a big ass go up. I'm like, "Oh shit, this motherfucker was not lying." He had, like, hold on. It was like a water bottle like this, but filled with the fucking like liquor. And I was just like, this motherfucker really is hiding in plain sight. I love it.
You know, it really sucks that you have to make up such lies to get attention because, as all my future employers know, I would never drink on the job. So that's just a dirty out lie.
Shut the fuck up. Really quick too, for everyone watching the podcast on YouTube, before I get further ahead, I have official Geek Press stickers. It's not gonna focus. Yeah, it won't focus. Okay. And then I have for my Twitch as well.
Oh my gosh.
But I think for legal purposes, I cannot sell these. So if you guys want them, I could give them away. But yeah, I thought that was cool.
If you sub to his Twitch, he'll send you a sticker.
Yeah, fuck yeah, that's a good deal right there, actually. Yeah.
Whether it be real sub or prime sub,
they're all subs. Yeah.
And he'll drop them off in your mailbox.
Okay, so let's
US, Canada, South Korea, anywhere else. Sorry.
Even North Korea. I got a plug over there.
You got a plug. Who's watching that Joshua Joestar Twitch streams in North Korea?
I can't tell you, but I got a plug. It's as glorious. You know, I've said too much. All right, so let's. Okay, so I wanted to get into this topic. My girlfriend and I have talked about this, and she's called me like an edgy teen, and also like a sociopath, because whenever I watch shows, like the ones I could think of is like Death Note, Breaking Bad, or even You on Netflix. The main character is a bad guy through and through. You know that from the start. And you know that everything he is doing, he or she, depending on the show, is a villain. And I always find myself voting for that guy. So like Death Note is the most recent example. When I was watching it, I was Team Light the whole way. I was super excited, like every time things went his way. And then it's kind of a spoiler. Well, it is the major spoiler. But
it's been out for years.
I know. But towards like the last 10 episodes, he finally manages to kill the guy who's been on his ass the entire time. And I remember when he his name's L. So when he killed Al, I was super happy that Al died. I was like, my boy Light is finally gonna fucking go with this through with his plans and everything. Lo and
You're a
behold,
sociopath.
I found out everyone was pissed off that Light killed L, and that like everyone in like the Death Note community really does hate Light, and I fucking
Mhm.
love him. And then it got me thinking. I was like, why are people getting mad at me for liking the bad guy? And I was even talking about this with my girlfriend. I was like, when you watch You, everybody loves Joe. Have you seen it?
Mhm. No.
It's a pretty good show. Like the first season's pretty good. Second season's kind of a rehash of the first season.
I just watch The Office all day and all night. I don't watch any of the show. I don't have a
You
personality.
just said you watched Death Note.
No, I've never seen Death Note.
Shut the fuck
But
up.
you can't live in the anime space and not know certain things about certain animes. You know what I
True.
mean? Like you're not
Yeah.
gonna be an anime fan or manga fan and be like, "What's Dragon Ball?" Shut the fuck up. You know exactly what Dragon Ball is. Like, don't try to be all uppity. Like, I only watch The Promised Neverland. No, you know what
I need to get on
Dragon
that.
Ball
I need to get
is.
on that.
Oh, that's it. The manga just ended, and it was so good,
Yeah, I
so good.
well, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
so that's my whole thing is like I always find myself rooting for the bad guy when it's clearly the bad guy's show, and like why do people hate on me for that? Like it's their show, like get immersed in it, you know? Like when I play GTA or when I play Red Dead Redemption, like the character you're playing as is not a good person at the end of the day, and I'm still like with that person through and through, you know? And then and I was also listening to these podcasts where I was like, oh yeah, I remember playing this level in Call of Duty where you shoot up an airport and it's super intense. And I remember playing it, I'm like, yeah, I shot up all these people. Or like this level in GTA where you're torturing this person. And I specifically remember playing that level and I was like, I'm gonna try to torture this dude in every single option it's gonna give me. And everyone's like, it's so intense, this and this. And I'm just like, yeah, let's fucking do it. So
you're probably a Thanos stan too, huh?
Thanos was an
You're just like
environmentalist.
Thanos did nothing wrong.
He didn't.
Uh, he did so many things wrong.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay,
kidding. But yeah,
okay,
but you see my thing though? Like,
okay. Is there a difference though? Because like you like Red Hood, right?
yeah,
But he's not a villain, he's an anti-hero. So is it that you like villains or like the anti-hero persona? Or is it like both?
I think it's both because like I do like like the equivalent of Red Hood to the Marvel universe is like the Punisher. And like I really do like the Punisher. But I also really, really like the Joker because of how sadistic he is and how
Mhm.
like the shit he does, you're like, what the fuck? Like it kind of like makes you step back and be like, holy fuck. So like I like
Yeah.
both of them, you know? But like my excuse is like when I'm watching a show and I'm playing a game, I like to get fully immersed. And I
Mhm.
like to be like, okay, obviously, you know, there's that whole conversation about like reality and fiction. I know how to separate those two. That's easy for me. So I'm just like, all right, this is a fake world. Whatever I do in this is not gonna affect me in the real world, unless I'm streaming and say something stupid. But you know, that's a whole nother conversation. But like what I do in the video game isn't gonna affect me. So if I'm a bad guy in the video game, I'm gonna be a bad guy and I'm gonna do all these bad choices because I think it's more fun. And if like I'm watching a show with the bad guy, I'm gonna fully be team bad guy, even though he's clearly the bad guy. You know, you get what I'm saying? That's my whole thing about it.
Okay. I hate to bring up Ender's Game.
I haven't seen it,
I
but
hate it. I
I
hate
know
it.
like the
Okay.
ending and all that.
Okay. So in the game, there's a simulation where they play like a holographic game, whatever. They play the
Mm-hmm.
simulation, and they find out at the end that it wasn't a simulation and that they actually murdered people. And they're just like, "How could you do that?" It's very much that kind of like blurring the lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like your choices. I hate to say this statement because it's so broad, but sometimes your choices in video games can be somewhat a reflection of your own morality.
Uh-huh.
Like when I play games, I like to play the hero. I love being the hero. I love being the hero so much. And it's not like this choice means directly that that's who I am
Uh-huh.
singularly as a person, but it's just where you lean to. So I feel like Lewis, if like you had the opportunity to be bad, like you and not get caught, you'd be bad. You know what I mean? Like if there are people in the world that could be GTA and like no consequences, 100% they do it the same way
True.
they do it in the
But
game.
okay,
Although there are people that also play vigilantes in GTA and they stop people. You know what I mean?
to play
They're
devil's
mixed
advocate,
bag.
to play devil's advocate, when I was
Because
playing
you love the devil.
true. So when I was playing Man of Median, that was a game I was streaming. You were watching it, I was trying to be a good guy through and through that entire game. I was trying my best not to kill people and try to have everyone survive and be super nice and loving. So that's the only part I'll play devil's advocate. But yeah, you have a point, because I remember when I was playing Red Dead Redemption, the second one, when I found out there was two different endings, essentially, like a good and a bad ending. I was trying my damnedest to be a good guy, but it was so fucking hard to be a good guy in that game for me, because everyone kept trying my patience, and I was like, yo,
Yeah,
look, I'm just gonna shoot you in your fucking head right now.
I think it also just depends on what you're watching. Like
Hmm.
when you watch Death Note, there's a very clear intent that this is a bad person.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes in video games, there's a very clear intent by the writer that's just like, oh, no matter what you do, it's going to end bad. Like
Mm-hmm.
for The Last of Us 2, like there was a big discussion online for The Last of Us 2
Yeah.
that there are dogs you can find in the game, and you can avoid killing the dogs, but at the end of the day, at one of the last levels, you have to kill a dog to progress. So
Mm.
if you want to be nice the entire time, sometimes the game or the situation forces you to do bad things. So it's very like, is this in your morality, or is it just the situation you're stuck in and you're trying to do your best? You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
then again, it's video games. I don't know.
Yeah, that's my excuse. I'm like, there's obviously a deeper discussion to be to be had with that, but like my thing is like,
And we're not the ones to
yeah,
discuss that.
yeah, we're just two people on the internet, and
We're just two assholes.
yeah. So like I said, like there's games with like morality is a big thing. Like I remember when I played back in the day when I used to play Fallout, I was always a good guy, always a good guy. I never made bad choices. I hardly ever killed anyone, and it wasn't until after I beat the game and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go and be a bad guy now. But always like, for the most part, whenever I played like an open world game, my go-to choice is to be a good guy. But when Cyberpunk comes out, when I stream it, I think I'm gonna lean more towards the bad guy persona, because I just feel like being like a cyberpunk edgelord villain sounds a lot more cooler than being a cyberpunk good guy, doesn't it? But that's a whole nother thing now.
I think that's also I really enjoy in video games when you're allowed to really decide who you are as a character.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like the Undertale. Like there was a big meme where like, oh, in Undertale, if you kill everyone, then you have no soul. But like if you like saved everyone, then like you did it. Like you actually beat the game. You know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
I love games where you're given the choice of being good, bad, or morally gray or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's fun. So I think it's okay to loop it back to the beginning. I think
Uh-huh.
it's okay if you like villains and stuff, because I mean, like, fuck it, who cares?
Yeah.
As long as
Wait,
you're not a villain in real life, then who cares?
I know this is bad podcast edits, but when did we start recording? What time? I lost track.
Let me see. We're in Atlantis, which is Southern Western time. What? I don't know. This is your
You know, fuck
podcast.
it. I've been okay. I got a rough idea of when we started. Anyways, yeah. So,
I want to say like 4:18 or something. I don't know.
okay. But yeah, to go now, jumping back into it.
Lewis, cut here. If you're editing this audio, cut here. Cut here.
I'm just gonna keep it going. I'm keeping all this going. Um, but yeah. So going back to that thing, it's like I do like that. But when Elizabeth kind of like threw that in my face, it kind of like forced me to really think about it. I was like, does that say anything about me? Like that I will like actively vote for the bad guy. Like I like the bad guys, and I think one of my things is too is I've talked about this with Elizabeth, and I think I talked about it with you. Um, I like shows like Game of Thrones, stuff like that, where they're not afraid to kill off your main character. I like shows that do that get you out of your comfort zone. So I think a big reason why I like those shows is because you never see a show from the villain's perspective. You never see a show where the villain is charismatic, charming, super smart and intricate. And usually the villain is just like, I'm a bad guy, I'm gonna kill you. So I think that's why I also like lure towards those kind of genres, I guess you could say, just because like I am a sucker for when the villain is when they humanize the villain and they show you his perspective and you're like, damn, he is a bad guy, but I get where he's coming from, kind of thing.
Do you also love kind of the freedom the bad side usually like represents? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the whole part with I'm gonna kind of jump ship a little bit to another anime with My Hero Academia with Chiziki. Like I get his whole thing where he was like, "This world is sick and I need to cleanse it." I'm like, okay, I get your perspective a little bit. And then like when you see Shigaraki, he was like, "Damn, All Might, you ruined my life. Now I'm gonna ruin your fucking life," kind of thing, you know.
Hmm.
So I do like those like perspectives where, like you said, like where you see, you get their side of the story.
I don't know. They all sound like virgins, unlike the All Might Chad. The All Might is the real Chad of the bunch, and I think they all just need to get a life. So yeah, I can totally understand liking the villains, but I guess it's whatever you're into. Because sometimes you can play a game. I think, like you said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
where you just shoot the whole airport and you don't even realize, like, oh wait, this is actually bad. Like I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah.
Because also, like a lot of times whenever anybody who's an experienced gamer, mobile games on a main console or whatever, like sometimes you get into like game mode and you don't like realize the implications of the story or what your
Mm-hmm.
choices are. So
So,
like when I'm playing Tomb Raider, I'm like, oh, I got the gold, and then later I'll be washing the dishes and I'll be like, wait, I just stole like
yeah.
artifacts. Like I'm Laura Croft, some British bitch, and I just stole like an Aztec treasure that probably should be in a museum, but I just took it.
He's like,
And
I
I got
want it
30
for myself.
XP. Yeah, and I felt good about that 30 XP. I don't care. I'm not giving it to anybody.
This is mine.
So so it's like that gamer mode where sometimes you don't even think about it. But I guess that depends on the type of game. Because if you're doing like a story game, like if you're doing coffee talk
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, like you're gonna really think about what you're doing rather than some more action oriented where you're just kind of in the moment and then you're
Yeah.
hooked
Like
later.
when I was playing like Man of Medium, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but like those decisions are really fast paced and you really have to like, shit, do I run, do I hide, do I attack, do I play defense? So it's like those ones are really like you have to think on the fly. So I get what you're saying, but also too like to kind of like wrap things up with this conversation. These are just video games. These are just TV shows. If you like the bad guy, ultimately, I don't think it's a reflection of who you are. I just think it's like something you prefer, like a genre. So like if you like horror movies, that doesn't mean you're oh damn, I don't know if you hear the car in the back. like like if
They're
you
like,
like
wrap it up.
yeah, like if you like horror movies, that doesn't mean
Uh-huh.
you like watching people get murdered.
Yeah.
If you like suspenseful movies, that doesn't mean you like constantly having anxiety. I think it's just
Yeah, if you like Darth Vader, that doesn't mean you agree with his
yeah,
fascist
you don't like
regime. You know what
space
I mean?
genocide.
Yeah, you're not into that. You just
Yeah.
like the hardy the breathy man with the glowy stick. You
Yeah,
know,
so I
it's
think
just
that's important to be said because I don't want that to be like misconstrued or someone to say like, oh, just because I play a bad guy doesn't mean I think about murder at X, Y. I'm like, no, it's just a game, but it's just it's just a deeper conversation that could be had if we were smarter people than what we claim to be.
Lewis.
Yes,
Lewis,
yes.
did you orchestrate this entire podcast topic to give evidence to us why you're not a sociopath for liking bad guys? Is that what this entire thing was for?
I'm not fucking crazy.
I'm not crazy. He says as he's slamming my head into the door. I'm not crazy.
Gonna does this look like the face of a crazy?
Oh God, no. If we're gonna do these more often, I need to have a backdrop because I'm jealous of your backdrop.
Thank you. It's just a whole bunch of
Very much.
posters and shit.
I need a bunch of stuff. I need things behind me now. So
You know,
I'm gonna start working on that.
why don't you do a Photoshop and just boom?
What is that on Zoom where you can just insert like a
Yeah,
background?
like yeah, you could do a green screen
Okay.
background.
Let me see if I have. Let's just keep talking and let me see if I have a background.
Okay, so for our next topic, I wanted to talk about Kiss Anime. So for those who don't know, Kiss Anime and Kiss Manga, I believe we're the same company. Yeah, because it's the same name, just different words. Two different websites though. And what it was illegally streamed animes and mangas that you could read or watch. And they had a fucking ass load of like any anime you could think of, any manga you could think of, they had it. And someone like myself, I used to go on Kiss Anime all the time, and I used to watch anime on there. And so I'm like, I was even talking to my coworker who's like a big weeb, and he was like, "Yeah, fuck Kiss Anime, just pay for your shit." Like, what, what is going on?
I'm at the beach.
It looks it looks like a Hollister bird. With,
Saying it. Continue.
yeah, it wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking good.
It's because it reflects off the light, and then that just gets caught in the virtual thing.
Okay. So
But
yeah,
continue.
so I was talking
Kiss
to a
Anime
coworker. Yeah, and he was like,
gone.
yeah, I'm happy Kiss Anime is gone. Just pay for your shit. And I told him, I was like, bro, I was like, what about like the people who can't afford to pay for it? Like I mainly watch dub anime, and a lot of like dub anime is on Adult Swim. In order to watch Adult Swim legally, you have to have a cable provider. So you go on the Adult Swim website, and it was like, oh, who's your provider? And you type in all that information, and you get access to it. Or you could go like on Funimation. There's other alternatives, but it's a little bit more tricky because like Funimation doesn't have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and it doesn't have a handful of other animes because there's like Viz Media, whatever. So I would go on Kiss Anime, and I was like, I would watch it because, you know, I can't afford cable. I can't afford this. And a big chunk of when I was like in high school and even now in college, I go and Kiss Anime and I watch a lot of their shit because simply I can't find it on Hulu. I can't find it on Netflix. I have my girlfriend has a Funimation account, but it's like, I'm not going to invest all this money in all these streaming services because it fucking racks up at the end of the day. You know, finances. So I was like, I heavily depended on a website like that. And it's like, going back to that whole topic, it's like support the creator. I get that. But for a website, no, for like a company like Viz, for a company like Funimation, they have the fucking money. So I feel like, let's say a couple million people illegally streamed a show. That's not going to hurt them. They make so much money in toys, mangas, DVD collections. They make all their money back and some. And then there's an argument to be made, which is fair from all the voice actors I've met. They don't get paid too much, but they make their money back in conventions. They make their money back. They're like, oh, you want to buy my autograph? Go on my website and this and that. So they're living, I don't know if they're living a stable life, but they're living a moderately stable life if they're able to travel and they're able to voice act and do all this stuff, you know? At least like the big ones that are on animes and shit.
I'm glad I have a different defense of these websites than you.
Okay.
Because my defense of these websites is that there are lots of older anime that either for legal reasons or just translation or how they've been pushed around by copyright law aren't available on sites like Viz and other like legal streaming sites. So some of these older animes like are just caught in like this legal minutia and can never be seen by anything. So I think that site was good for those older animes that you can't just find anywhere else. But at the same time, that's kind of the only pro argument I have because like I don't know, I feel like it depends. I don't feel as bad because the anime industry is doing well. Like, I feel like an asshole if I'm reading a comic online that I stole because I'm like, oh, I gotta stop doing this because the comic industry
that's a whole nother story.
That's a whole other story. So it's just, I feel like for, like you said, they're gonna make their money back and everything. As much as I love directly supporting creators, I just don't feel bad about this big company. You know, like watching everybody pirating one anime isn't going to shut the whole system down, but everyone pirating something else
just to
different
interrupt
time
you,
medium will hurt it.
Just to interrupt you really quick, and going back to like supporting the creators, I think, right, like of course, like, you know, the creator of Dragon Ball, if you pay for like a Dragon Ball merch, like if you let's say you stole a Dragon Ball shirt from fucking Joe Blow's Weeb collection, that's not gonna hurt.
Toriyama isn't even gonna get paid for that.
Yeah, exactly. But like, let's say you stole.
He got license fee. He's fine.
Yeah, no, but let's say you stole Noah Garcia's depiction of Goku, which was clearly a fan made one, and you stole that. That's gonna hurt him because he's a smaller creator. So I feel like supporting the creator, I think it's very hypocritical what I'm about to say. I feel like it applies more to the smaller creators as opposed to the big creators, because the big creators, they, like you said, they have licensing fees, they have all these, they're getting a source of revenue no matter what, because they're smart. But as for the smaller creators, I don't want to call them stupid because they're not stupid. It's just they don't have the knowledge, and it's obviously they depend a lot more heavily on their their transactions and all that. So, but I'm sorry, I just wanted to say that. But
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, you can see like an image float around on Twitter without credit, and then the person is like, "Oh, if you like this, this is my artwork. Go to my like coffee and subscribe," and nobody will care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go buy my $5 digital sign. No one will do it.
Yeah.
So it's just I care more about digital piracy on a smaller scale than I do on a larger one.
Yeah, like if you were to like steal a copy of like Avengers Endgame, like yeah, fuck it. Joe Russo and the Marvel people are making billions of dollars, but if you stole like Luis
An
and
indie
Noah's
film.
indie film like Luis and Noah's Wild the Weekend, you pirated that. I'm like, oh, you're kind of a dick because those guys probably needed that money.
Yeah, that was not a good porno to shoot. They did neither of them was into it. Neither of them was into it. It wasn't good.
I was thinking like Weekend at Bernie's, but I like how you turned it into.
Oh yeah, can I be the dead one and you can just?
We could.
Can it? Okay. Here's my pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My character is about to inherit $1 million, but I die, and you're just like, oh, my sister needs that money for like her operation or something. So like you Weekend at Bernie's me so we can collect the money. This looks like an adventure through the city to the bank.
That's a good idea. And like throughout like my trip from like the house to the bank, a whole bunch of crazy shit happens. Like
I just fall on like a hot dog cart and my face is like
yeah, and then like we end up on national news and save someone's life and like save the prince of like Wakanda.
Oh, it's an MCU tie-in.
Well, no, I was just trying to think of like a third.
No.
Like I was trying to think of
third. Wakanda's better than all of us. I heard you say third. Wakanda is like, if one is best and zero's above it, they're a zero world country because no one else can match them. Like, don't ever disrespect Wakanda like that again.
God.
Don't ever do that again. I will stop talking to you.
All right, so
you know how it's popular to hate stuff. Now people are hitting on Black Panther, and it pisses me off.
Oh God, I thought you were gonna say something else for a second. I was about to say, "Whoa."
I'm not you. I'm not racist. Openly online. Just
okay, go on.
Well, it's not racist being mean to white people. But what were you gonna say?
Shut the fuck up, dude.
It's not. It's being prejudiced. There's a difference.
All right.
But what were you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
My train of thought. God damn, you made me lose my fucking train of thought.
Okay, our movie idea. We were talking about our movie Weekend at Bernie's Where I'm Dead.
Yeah.
And you said you had an idea.
That was the idea. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So hit us up, Warner Brothers. I don't know. We'll figure out something.
So okay, let's just talk now. So you go back to school in like a week or two, right? Because I go back to school next week. When do you go back?
Yeah, next week.
How's that working out for you? Have you figured out? We're just having a conversation now, just on a podcast.
I have one class because I'm terrible at digital classes because I'm just so bad.
I feel that.
Like I feel like I have to be there. You know what I mean?
No, I'm in the same boat as you.
So just one class I'm taking until 2 years from now when all this is over. And it's going okay, I guess. How about you? What classes are you in?
So
we're both in college student, by the way, for everyone listening. We're both CU, right? We're both CSU. Yeah, we're both CSU students. Forget about the fact that I forgot what it was called. What's your plans, Louis?
So okay, I took some summer classes. I took 2 summer classes. I passed both of them, but I'm being charged for one of them. So I was trying to call my financial aid office today, but they were like super busy, which makes sense because school's starting up. And I'm taking like 6 classes this semester. Yeah, I'm taking an ass amount of classes just because next semester. Okay, so
full ass.
Yeah, like a full ass. So this school year is my last school year, and then I'm officially graduated. And so I had thank you. He's doing a silent clap. Now he's doing a hard clap. Now he has a gun and a baby. What are you doing? And he dropped the baby. And now he's shooting himself, but he missed. Anyways, so this is my last.
And now he's back as a Force ghost. And guess what, Lewis? You've been a Skywalker this whole time.
So, okay, so like I was saying, this is my last school year, and the reason why I'm taking so many classes this particular semester is because it was either take a lot of classes this semester or take a lot of classes my last semester. So I was like, fuck it. I'll just do a big load this semester. Following semester in the spring, I only take like 4 classes and I got my internship and I'm done. So that's why I'm taking a lot of classes this one.
Well, I'm very happy for you, and I'm really proud, and I'm
Thank
really
you.
excited. I can't wait to brag about you, because I don't brag about myself. I brag about my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I have a friend, Rudy, who works at Spectrum News right now. So people are like, oh, how are you doing? And I'll just be like, my friend Rudy's at Spectrum News. So now I can brag, like, how are you doing? I was like, oh, my friend Luis is about to graduate from Dominguez. Ooh. So I thank you for giving me another thing to brag about.
Of course. And if the Geek Press takes off eventually, we all won't have to work. We could just do YouTube and other shit.
I'm working on a show. I'm editing it today
Okay.
for Lewis. So if you guys are watching this and you see a new show, Fridays or something on the Geek Press, then it worked out. It wasn't bad as I thought it would be.
And also too, to kind of since we're talking about the Geek Press, since we both go to school and we both have
sticker.
Yeah, I will give you a sticker. I'll do a quick drive by at your house and leave them at your front door like I usually do. Our what's the word I'm looking for? Our content. There we go. Our content is gonna drop both in quality and quantity when we start school, just because we're gonna be a lot more busier. So I just want to. I've said that before, but I think I've said it in a video. I'm gonna say it in a video too coming up. But yeah, just be aware of that like we're not gonna be as frequently updating the YouTube channel, but we're gonna try our best. No promises, but we're gonna try our best to keep our social medias active for the Geek Press, because I feel like that's a lot easier. So yeah, that's what's gonna be going on.
Yeah, and I would say we're most active on our Instagram, so if you want to follow, not most active, but we get the most response on Instagram.
Yeah, we get the most response on Instagram.
Geek Press Instagram, just geek, video game, comic news, whatever.
Yeah, so also that's what's going on, but so there's a few other things I want to talk about. I know this is like a gaming geek stuff. I heard that the Xbox has they leaked the date because of some controllers. So the Xbox Series X is said to be coming out November 6th. And I've been hearing a lot of conversation, especially because Halo Infinite got delayed. And I feel like that is going to hurt Microsoft in regards to sales, no matter how you put it. And that's coming from like an Xbox fanboy.
That was their flagship title, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was like that was like essentially their only AAA game going into the next generation. The rest are like AA and borderline indie games. Or they're not even indie games because they're Microsoft. But
I would say that Halo is just so connected to the Xbox and their brand. I would wait.
You would wait?
I would totally. Yeah, because then PS4 will release their thing, and then there'll be nobody in the area to like compete. I feel like marketing wise I sound like really dumb, but like you don't have to compete with PS4 PS5 because it's going to come out, and you're going to wait for Halo, and then you can bundle all that up and just push it out.
Very true.
Just give yourself your own space instead of like having to compete and rush out without the game many of your fans are waiting for.
And coming from I'm obviously an Xbox person and Noah is a PlayStation. So with the rumor leak date, it hasn't been come out and confirmed by Microsoft as of yet, but November 6th is the leak date for the Series X. When do you think the PlayStation is going to come out? Because they've been having this pissing contest back and forth. Do you think it's going to come out sooner? Because that's what a lot of people are saying.
I don't think it'll come out sooner because I feel like because they've always been kind of bitter, I feel. So it's just release within the span of the same week, maybe within 7 days before or after.
Okay.
That's just the futz with sales to really choose the consumer, like pick a side, that whole console war thing.
That seems like a very, very likely thing now that I think about it. Like they're like, oh, yours is coming out on the 6th, ours is coming out on the 7th, or like.
And also, all our games are coming out on time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Also, okay, so to switch things up now, I'm just kind of like scraping the bottom of the barrel of topics. So DC fandom is happening this week, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I pull up this while you talk. I'll pull up the schedule.
So I don't really know anything about DC fandom. I'm kind of just putting two and two together from what I'm seeing online. This has kind of popped up in my ecosphere not too long ago. correct me if I'm wrong, but DC fandom is just a big convention, obviously virtual convention now, a big virtual convention of everything DC is doing then, right? So it's like their version of D23.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Basically, uh, DC. Okay, DC Fandom ME is a 24.
Fandom.
DC Fandom is a 24-hour virtual experience where basically they're gonna have panels right after another, and they're gonna have a website set up with like a bunch of like interviews and news drops, and this is concerning the comics, the movies, the video games. I mean, WB and Montreal are going to be they're planning on releasing news about the
The new
Suicide Squad
Batman.
versus Justice League game.
Uh-huh.
There's going to be reveals for the new Wonder Woman movie and for Zack Snyder's. I always get the confused. Zack Snyder's Justice League, and there's going to be comic drops, and it's pretty crazy.
So okay, so I've been seeing hints that they're gonna talk about the new Batman game that's coming out.
Yeah. At 10:30, there's going to be. I have the schedule up.
Okay.
There's going to be a Warner Brothers Games Montreal announcement, so they can do multiple things there.
Mm-hmm. And this is this week, right? Like I just want to double check.
The 22nd.
Okay. So it's like what, like 3 fucking days?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit. As of recording this is August 17th. I don't know if I'll have it up by today.
Should I read off some of the list for some of the stuff on the first?
Give me the things that you think would be the highlights.
Okay. Wonder Woman 1984. The Montreal announcement. The Suicide Squad panel.
Mm-hmm.
Black Adam panel.
That's actually still happening?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, this is the Snyder Cut of Justice League. They're having I think they are going to reveal the new Batman game because they have a panel for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and they have a panel for the Montreal announcement. So I feel like they're going to do that. And then after that, the first half is going to be a lot of movies. It's going to be a lot of
so a lot of the mainstream.
Yeah, and then the latter half is going to be like TV shows, comics, and etc.
So more of like the diehard fans they're gonna close with that shit.
Both.
Okay.
I would say it depends on what you're into. Like, let me see what the last thing they're showing. The last thing they're showing is like comic. Yeah, it's comic and it's comic and TV stuff is the last things they're showing.
Okay.
So like open with TVs, open with movies and video games, and with comics and TV shows.
So like, all right, the people who want to watch it now are still okay. I get it.
Yeah, all the Arrowverse shows are on like the latter half, for example.
Is that still going? Like I thought the Arrowverse, I thought like the unanimous decision was like it's bad now, like everything that they're doing.
I was not invited to this unanimous decision. Who said that?
Yeah, we specifically not invited you for that reason.
I'll fight
their dad. We specifically invited you because they're like, no one's gonna try to fight everyone's dad.
I'll make them like my dad. Gone. I knew you'd appreciate that joke.
But but they're still going now. Like,
yeah, it's still going.
So how's that gonna work with Batwoman? Like that they recasted her. Like, okay, hold on, really quick before you go, because I have general questions just because I don't watch the show. Okay. So, obviously, they recasted her, and I was like, okay, they could easily just get like another white girl, but like since they're getting a person of color, how are they gonna spin that? You get what I'm saying?
It's not a recasting. It's basically they're introducing a new character to take up the mantle.
Oh,
so this person is going to be an entirely new character.
Okay.
We're going to find out what happens to Kate Kane, Ruby Rose's character, in the first episode. But then this new one is going to take up the mantle. So I know I just reiterated, but yeah, 2 different characters.
Okay, I thought they were going to, you know how a lot of shows do that? They just, like in Game of Thrones, they recasted that dude who fell in love with Khaleesi. So I thought they were just going to do something like that.
I'm really worried about how they're going to introduce her. Because I just really like the way I suggested they introduce her by making her like a former Robin, like Stephanie Brown spoiler.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
And then like her seeing, because in the show right now they just introduced Hush, and they did the surgery where he looks just like Bruce Wayne, so they can bring Bruce Wayne
Oh,
into the show.
how does he look?
And like CW.
Okay.
So uh so I wish they do that, and then she could just show up and be like, Bruce Wayne, you're back, like Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd be like, oh wait, who the hell are you? And that's why she picks up the mantle of Batwoman. Like, I can't be Robin anymore, because like
Do you think
I
they're
don't fit into
gonna?
those tights.
Do you think they're gonna kill off Ruby Rose's character, or they're gonna be like, oh, she's trapped in like the fucking Beyondiverse where no one gets out kind of thing?
I don't know, but apparently they're gonna do it respectfully, which is, I don't
Didn't
know.
she
I
like
don't know.
openly
I don't
talk
know.
shit about the show or something? Like
No,
she didn't
there
like the hate.
was. Well, first of all, somebody died on that show, literally, I
Oh,
believe. No, they
fuck.
got injured.
Oh, okay.
I have to look it up, but the production of that show has been really bad.
Uh-huh.
Ruby Rose literally had to go into back surgery because she was doing
I heard about
and
that,
she got
yeah.
injured. So like that, and working the schedule up in Canada, and just a lot of things really got to her, and she's
So
just
it was
like,
like
I can't do this
it
anymore.
was too intense for her.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. I was under the impression that it was just hate, but I literally don't know what I'm talking about, so that's why I keep my opinions to myself.
No, I'm a big fan of the show. There's a lot it needs to work on.
And the baby's a big fan of the show too.
There's a lot it needs to work on, but
Mm-hmm.
there's some good stuff in there. I swear, there's good stuff in there.
Okay. No, I've heard like you could like cherry pick, but it's just like the CW shows just look like a hot pile of trash. Like eventually you gotta find some gems in that steaming pile of shit, but it just doesn't look good.
The one show I'll always suggest is Legends of Tomorrow, which is just.
I heard that one's like super self-aware too.
It's so self-aware, and it's so silly, and it's a ridiculous show. It's a ridiculous show. So
speaking of ridiculous shows,
It's absurd.
The Boys comes out in like a couple of weeks. Have you seen it?
Never seen The Boys.
Oh my god, bro, it is so good. Looked like I was sucking dick right there.
Nobody needed that visual. Nobody needed to even think.
But
of that.
it's so good. Carl Urban is he's the star of that show, dude. You gotta watch it if you have Amazon Prime. Fucking get on it.
Yeah, I need to, honestly. I've heard
really
nothing but good things.
It quickly became one of my favorite shows.
And like The Boys is just like, I'm gonna guess it's just like superheroes are assholes, and they're like the ones who kill superheroes because they're assholes or something.
Something like that. Okay, so just to give you a general description of the show. So they live in the age of superheroes, and they're born with quirks, and not everyone has a quirk. And So they live in a world of superheroes, but much kind of like My Hero Academia, to kind of like draw it together. They've commercialized superheroes, so it's like they have their own version. It's a parody of the Justice League, but they call themselves the Seven, kind of like the Justice League, and the Seven have managed to like they have their version of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, blah blah blah. Homelander is their version of Superman. They're like, we have Homelander O's, the official cereal of Homelander, or there's this guy, I think his name's A-Train. They're like, and he's their version of the Flash. He's like, A-Train only wears these shoes and this and that. But also too, on the back end, they're super politicized. So the people running like their corporation is in bed with the government saying, hey, send our boys out to the Middle East, send our boys out to North Korea. We'll deal with this shit. And it turns out whenever like politicians, or like, let's say this new TikToker is getting more fame than them, anything that could hurt their image, they will kill them. And then they will like say like, oh, fucking Senator Joe Blow, his plane blew up in the storm. In reality, Homelander fucking shot his thing with laser eyes and killed him. And so that's one front of the story of the superheroes pretending to be good, but they're actually fucking terrible people. And then the other side, they don't give them a name, but they call them the Boys, and it's just regular people, and they don't have superpowers. And it's Carl Urban and his band of people saying to like, yo, we know these superheroes are actually villains and we're gonna take them fucking down. And in the process of doing that, they become like fucking criminals because, you know, everyone's gonna believe Superman over this random dude blowing up a building because he's trying to, you know. So it's a really good show.
It has big Injustice vibes, and I respect
Yeah,
that. Mhm.
yes. It's so
Because even though
fucking good.
I have troubles with Injustice, I do like it. So, but yeah, no, I know that comes from a comic. It looks cool.
Yeah,
I need to catch up.
it's really, really good. I think I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up, but any things that you want to end it on, like show recommendations, any life advice, anything.
Everyone, please be safe. Uh, Social distance to help those who could get hurt by getting sick, and subscribe to um,
Jacob Knight.
Joshua Joestar on Twitch, and you can get a free sticker.
Yeah, you
And
can. I got
that'll cure my depression. A fucking sticker. So there we are.
yeah. Going back to what Noah said, you know, if you do go outside, make sure you wear your proper PPE. So if you have gloves, wear gloves, but most importantly, wear your mask. Have some hand sanitizer on deck and just wash your hands. Make sure you stay clean. But for shows, like I said, watch The Boys. Boys is really fucking good. If you guys haven't watched Umbrella Academy yet, go watch Umbrella Academy. That's a really good fucking good show.
Watch Batwoman. I want everyone to watch Batwoman. It's free on the CW app, which is also free. Just watch it.
Do you have to
Just
watch ads on that since it's free?
Yeah.
Okay, that's whatever. Also,
Watch Batwoman.
any good reads that you could recommend right now? Anything you're reading or anything you're playing?
Oh my gosh. Don't get PS Now if you have a PS4 because the games are very limited on that subscription service.
Have you played Fall Guys?
No.
You should. I want to. I'm thinking about getting it on my laptop. Anyways, go on.
And be safe. That's all I have to say. I have nothing else important to say.
On the opposite end of that,
don't do
be
cocaine.
Safe. I'm just kidding. On the opposite end, Game Pass, great fucking service. A lot of good games on there. Yeah, so Microsoft gets that going for the at least. And yeah, just be safe, guys. I'm gonna, like I said, if you've made it this far, like all one of you guys, thank you, appreciate it. And like I said, the content quantity is gonna be dropping almost drastically, and my streams are gonna be dropping a little bit drastically too. But for Noah, I think he's probably a little bit more better at time management than I am. So I don't know if your content's gonna be dropping. He's saying
my content won't exist at all. What are you talking about? I'll take another year hiatus.
All right. But with all that being said, my name is Luis Gutierrez. I want to thank you, Noah Garcia, who's pretty much become a member of the Geek Press. He is a member of the Geek Press now. So we're a two-man group now.
Where is my sticker, Clarice? Where is my sticker?
I'll drop by. Like I said, I'll do a drive-by at your house tomorrow, and I'll drop off some stickers for you.
That'll be a vlog. My friend shot me.
Yeah, but with all that being said, guys, if you guys need anyone to literally ever talk to, I have a Discord. It's kind of dead, to be honest, but occasionally we talk in there. But if you guys want to join it, just ask for the link and you can shoot it, and you can message any of us privately, or you can DM us on any social media. We'll get back to you. I know this world's a crazy place, but it could be less crazy if you have someone to talk to. And with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, great night, great afternoon, and thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you when I see you. Take care.